We left off last episode with the best RNG possible, getting a Rune Scimitar ornament kit from our very first beginner clue. We then started Fight Arena quest to try and quest up our early levels as much as possible. My goal for this episode is to quest up to at least 40 attack, and to get a Rune Scimitar so we can make use of our insane RNG last episode. So, at the end of the Fight Arena quest, you don't actually have to kill General Khazard. You can just run past him and then go talk to Lady Serval and the quest is done. So after I killed Bouncer the Hellhound, I was ready to go turn in the quest.
And let's get started.
Yeah, so stuff like this is why I didn't make this account a hardcore, because I knew it wouldn't have lasted long anyway. Apparently, once you defeat Bowser, there's no way to even get back into the fight arena at all. I even tried buying the guard the special type of beer he likes, but I wasn't able to get back in. So all the runes I had just spent nearly all my GP on were stuck in a gravestone, set to disappear in a few minutes in an inaccessible location. I figured I'd lost all of it, and I'd have to make some GP back somehow to buy more runes. So I had just considered this a loss at this point. But while I was in the area, I figured I'd go get myself another Clue Hunter cloak, because the dig spot for it is nearby. So I got to the location and started digging, and I didn't get the cloak. It took me a while, but eventually I realized that my gravestone timer was still active, but hidden underneath my inventory because I have Runelight Stretch Mode on and my inventory is so big. So I figured I couldn't get a duplicate of it because the cloak is in my grave, so I thought once my grave disappears, I'll be able to get this cloak, and it's going to take me so long to get back here, so I might as well wait for a bit. So I waited there for a couple minutes, and then I realized that my gravestone timer wasn't going down because I was just standing in place. So then I started walking around aimlessly until the timer finally went away, and then I started digging and I still couldn't get the cloak. Then I looked at my chat box and saw a message that my stuff was at Death's Coffer, and realized I'm actually just a dumbass who spent 10 minutes digging and walking around aimlessly for absolutely no reason. So I took the walk of shame to Death's Coffer, and I got all my stuff back for free, so at least I wouldn't have to buy any more runes, I guess. This is the part of the video where the content creator tells you to like and subscribe. So after all that, I finally got right back into the questing. I did Monk's Friend, and then I quickly got up to level 30 firemaking, and I did the Sea Slug quest. This got me straight from 1 to 24 fishing, which is useful because now I have the fishing trawler minigame teleport unlocked, which is a pretty useful teleport, pretty close to Artie. Usually on a low-level Ironman at this stage, you want to get an Artie Cloak 1 by completing the Easy Artie Diary. That gives you an unlimited teleport to the monastery just south of Artie. But unfortunately for me, that diary requires completing Biohazard, and in the Biohazard quest, there's a section where you have to wear a priest gown, which is a tradable item. So unfortunately, that's a no-go for this account. And since we're talking about the rules a little bit, I'll go ahead and take a minute to clarify a question I got a few times. So some people were confused about things like Barrow's armor, tridents, or things like that that are tradable sometimes but not always, depending on how much charge they have. So the rule is that when I click to equip the item, if it's untradeable then, it's okay. So for things like Barrow's armor, you can only equip it at full charge and it's tradable then, so unfortunately I won't be able to use Barrow's armor. But for tridents and a lot of other items like that, you can partially charge them and they're in an untradable state, and I can equip them then. So I hope that that makes sense and clarifies the rules a little bit. So next I dug up some Clue Hunter gloves, I got my Boots of Lightness, and I went and got 10 agility at the Gnome course real quick. I would be doing the Grand Tree quest soon enough, which requires level 25 agility, so I wanted to go ahead and get 10 for the Draenor course. Then I went back to Varrock. I bought some more runes, which I was going to need for a few quest bosses coming up. One of the most common suggestions that I got last episode was to get the Cursed Goblin Staff from Diango in Draenor, which is an untradeable staff that costs like 200 GP. It doesn't have any stats, but the benefit of it is that I can auto-cast Fire Strike instead of doing it manually every time. So thanks so much to everyone who told me about it last episode. Definitely a big help. So anyway, I went ahead and got 25 agility at Draenor because I was just too lazy to go to Alcarid at level 20. So now that I had 25 agility, I was ready to start questing again. I did Vampire Slayer, Ernest the Chicken, Druidic Ritual, and thank you to Biked1234 who tested Clue Hunter gloves for the gate in the Witch's House quest. I was actually able to complete that quest without leather gloves. So thanks so much for testing that. So after Witch's House, I completed Tree Gnome Village and then the Waterfall quest. This actually got me above 40 attack, but I still felt like questing a bit. So I did the Grand Tree quest next. I won't tell you exactly how many times I died trying to safe spot the Black Demon properly, but just know that the number is greater than or equal to 3. As a side note, every time I do this quest, it takes me ages to find that Draconia rock in the end. I usually end up searching all of the routes multiple times over, thinking that I've searched all of them and I had to have searched all of them, but I end up finding it after what feels like years. But actually, this time, I got really lucky and found it on the 3rd route somehow, so I've never had that good of RNG at that part of the quest before. So that felt pretty cool. Anyway, I did the Restless Ghost quest next, and finally felt like I was done questing for now, so since the Grand Tree got me up to 31 agility, I knew I needed to get 40 at some point, so I might as well do it as early as possible. So I went to Varrock and knocked out 40 agility pretty quick. Once I get to Canifis, I'll train it up to 50 or something, but for now 40 is fine. Then I decided it was finally time to go for the Rune Scimitar. I was going to kill the Zamrak warriors at ZMI, but I needed to get a healthy stack of runes first. So I went to the Wildy and hopped and picked up the Steel Plate Leg spawn and sold them at the shop in Alcarid. I ended up buying 600 casts of Fire Strike. Keep in mind that I need to buy fire runes, 3 fire runes per cast because I can't wear a fire staff, so it's more expensive for me than other low-level Ironmen, so I wasn't able to get as many as you normally would. But anyway, I had 600 casts, and I went to the Warriors. Okay, so last episode, the supposedly copyright-free song I used when I opened the clue ended up getting copyright claimed, so now I'm a little bit scared, so just pretend there's some epic build-up happening right now, and the bass drops right now. Yeah, so it feels pretty good to be wielding a Rune Scimitar in this account already. Before I end the episode, I have one question for you guys. So I've been using a plugin on RuneLite called Equipment Restrictor for this account so far, and basically with the plugin active, the game won't let me equip anything that I haven't explicitly whitelisted. So I've been whitelisting all the items that I know I can use, but this is a bit problematic because you whitelist them by item name, and the Rune Scimitar, as an example, is still just called a Rune Scimitar when you put the ornament kit on it. It's not called like Rune Scimitar parentheses Orn or something like that. It's the same item name. So technically, I could equip the Rune Scimitar without the ornament kit with this plugin, and it would let me do that. So this could definitely be an issue in the future, and I'd rather not ruin the account by equipping something tradable if I can help it. So if you guys have any ideas for like some other plugin or some way to modify this one to make it more reliable for me, I would super appreciate that. But anyway, that's all for this episode, and thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I got such a good reception from the last one, and I'm really excited to keep going on this account. If you made it this far, please press the subscribe button so you don't miss the next episode, and also press the like button so that my brain gets dopamine.
And let's get started.
I hope you all have a great day.
doesn't, you just keep following.